What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin today, BTC USD. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. It is the 23rd day of March, and here we are sitting at about $70,800 right now, pumping up a little bit. 10 hours, 41 minutes to go in this day. Hit that like button. Thank you all for being here. Let's get into it. Okay, so first and foremost, a lot of people were super scared, super duper scared here that we broke below this trend line. In my opinion, this is not the trend line to get scared over. I don't really think any of these trend lines are anything to get scared over, but this trend line seems to be much more significant, and we've held that up. I do assume at some point we will go below this trend line and find support, but by the time we do that, it will just be at the same areas that we found support at throughout this whole range, right? And I expect the reaction over here to be similar to like what we saw here whenever we broke through this trend line, where everybody's saying that we're breaking out, we're going lower, but there was no volume to back it up. Just like here. Just like here. Again, remember what a breakout move looks like, my friends. It's not a requirement, but 90% of the time, you need volume. We broke out of this who cares line right here. Volume decreased as we did it. It really, like here, whenever we broke out to the upside, we were bearish. We knew that we were going to come down because there was no volume to back it up, right? That's just how it is. So keep that in mind. Volume does matter. We can verify this right now, right? If we're looking at this trend line and the significance here, there wasn't even that much volume on the breakout, but we did get a little bit of an increase. It was above average. And then as we really broke down, I wouldn't think of it as a trend line. I would think of it as a range, right? Like a horizontal range overall. And when we actually broke out, when we actually saw a breakout, the volume came in, right? That was the real deal. You would have known this was the real deal on this day here. Anyways, here we are seeing what looks to be a bullish engulfing candle. Quite the bullish engulfing candle. We closed this week. We closed this week here on Sunday. Friday closed here, so there's a big CME gap that we just filled right now. So that's nice to see. I wouldn't be surprised if we came up a little bit more. I was personally expecting that from like this area, we saw a little bit of a retracement before going lower, but we went a little bit lower over the weekend first, which isn't common. The weekends don't typically produce price action that goes too far away. You know, like from where you close on Friday, we don't typically get too far away from there. But it did happen here, and we're seeing the repercussions of that right now. Man, when I went to bed last night, everybody seemed so max bearish. They were talking about, like I saw posts on X, and I'm just saying this myself. I'm sure you guys have seen the same thing. Maybe you didn't. I'm not even that involved on X.com, but a little bit. And what I saw were people saying all the VCs, all the people with big money, they're selling. All the what is it? The insiders, they're selling. They showed a chart where it was quote unquote insiders selling all their stocks. The Asian markets are selling off, showing like the Asian markets last night. Whenever America's going to bed, they're selling off. Talking about the Iran conflict and how scary this is going to be. The U.S. is deploying more troops. All the reasons to spread fear and doubt and generate an emotional response, which if you're making investments, if you're making trade decisions based off emotion, you will get wrecked. And the reality is, it was the same here as it was here, as it was here, as it was here, as it was here, and as it was at each of these tops too. Just a different set of emotions, right? Fear-based emotions, euphoric-based emotions, but we haven't done anything. We're just moving sideways. And regardless of the short-term nitpicky stuff, the reality is, since February, what I've been calling for on this channel, if you've been following the channel, is that every dump gets pumped into, every pump gets dumped into, and so on and so forth, until May at the earliest, if not June at the latest, and then we will break down. We're going to be moving sideways. And I theorized this back at the beginning of February. I'm sticking with that theory that this consolidation range is going to be longer than this one was. This one was a long time, right? From November 21st, we didn't really break out until January 29th. So all of December and then January, that's like 2 months and a week. February 6th, it's March 23rd. I expect this to be longer, maybe 50% longer, maybe twice as long. That's what I'm expecting. May at the earliest, but likely it will be June that we break out, and when we break out, it'll be to the downside. And then I don't need to say this, but I'm just going to say it anyways. When we break out, everybody's going to be screaming for prices below 50K, and maybe we get just below 50K, but I have a hard time seeing that we go too far below 50K. Maybe like 47.7K, 48, 49K. We get to 55K, and that's it, whatever. I could see any of those happening. Below this low, but nothing crazy. Actually, while we're on this note, I want to go over it. Let's do it. Screw it. Okay. I told myself I wasn't going to make this video long, but let's just do it. We're going to go way back in time. Okay, and you know what? I think we can use the weekly time frame for this. We don't need to be on the daily time frame. Okay. So, excluding this initial first bear market, which again, I think can be debated as not a bear market. It was Bitcoin's not even first major correction. It was just the longest correction that we saw at the time. But we didn't have a halving yet in this bear market. It behaved completely differently than any other bear market we had before. The only thing that makes it suitable as a bear market is the fact that we dropped over 90%. But still, what did we do here at the bottom? From October 17th to December 12th, it's about 2 months, we moved sideways. The bear market ended with a bang and a whimper. And then really, here you moved sideways for a long time before you really kicked things off in the bull market, didn't you? Here, whenever we ended this bear market, which is definitely a bear market here, that was 12th of January 2015, maybe not to the day, but that week of. And then we didn't really break out. We were moving sideways. We saw some bullishness kick off in September of 2025. So January of 2025 to September of 2025. You guys, that's 9 months. Okay? 9 months. A bang. It ended with a bang and a whimper. We consolidated for a long time. 9 months. Here, whenever we broke down, it was a bang and a whimper. How long did we consolidate in this range for? I mean, we found the low on the 10th of December that week. We were in this range for longer than that, but whatever. The 10th of December, we didn't break out until the 1st of April that week. So that's about 4 months, 3.5 months, a bang and a whimper, over a quarter of a year for those last two bull markets. This one was like almost 3/4 of a year, 2.5 quarters. And then here in the last cycle, if you notice what happens first is we find the low each of these times. We find the low and then we move sideways. And then after moving sideways, we move up. Last cycle, we did something different. We did not find the low first, but we still did things the same way. Instead, what we did first was we moved sideways. We moved sideways, and then we had our bang. And even with the bang here, there was a little bit of a whimper from from the low, November 21st, to when we started to pump, January 9th. That was a couple months, or a month and a half. But really, the reason why this was such a small time of consolidation is because you had already been consolidating. One could argue, and I am making that argument right now, that yes, you broke out here, which made everybody think you're going to have another leg down. And all we did was move sideways. All we did was move sideways for an extended period of time, for like 2/4 of a year. I'm theorizing the same thing happens here. We're going to be moving sideways. We probably have a fake breakout to the downside, and then we will move up. But 2026 is going to be a boring year. I want to get into the short-term stuff and then wrap this up, okay? 1 hour time frame here. We take the high from Tuesday last week to the low here over the weekend. We've gotten above the 382. It's very common to wick above the 382 like this and then close below it. And in that situation, typically what you see is a pullback to the 236, and then you continue to push higher. We look like we're just pushing higher. So my thoughts are from here, we found resistance here a few times. We've got volume coming in with size here, and we're moving up, I think, in the opposite direction of whatever the sentiment has been over the weekend. I think we're going to the golden ratio, which is at 72.5 to 73.2K. We're going to go up here, find resistance. Maybe we even go a little bit higher. And then from there, we likely proceed to lower prices. And again, just like here and just like here, emotions will be very high here. All the bears who were screaming super loud at the top, they're going to be dead silent. And it's going to be all the guys who were super loud over here who were dead silent down here. It's the cycle of emotional, irrational, I don't even know what to call it, man. Silliness. When really we're not doing anything. We're just moving sideways. 1 hour RSI's overbought, stochastics overbought, the MACD's crossing above the zero. Cool. All bullish things. Makes me think that we have higher to go. The 4 hour RSI gave us some bullish divergence. We're building volume as we're breaking out, as we're moving up higher. Stochastics look bullish. The MACD's bearish, but if we can cross above the zero, that might be a bullish sign. I don't have an issue with any of these. To me, it wouldn't make as much sense to find resistance right here and stop moving up. I do think we have more to go. Hold on. Man. Okay. Yeah, it looks bullish to me. What we do have, we might find a little turbulence here. And don't be surprised if we do. If you're watching this video and we're pulling back already a little bit, maybe we're back down to like $69,000, whatever. We do have higher highs, and we don't really have higher highs here. A little bit of hidden bearish divergence. Maybe we come back down, we find support down here, and we're forming some type of inverse head and shoulders pattern. You see it? That could be what it is. The volume profile is wrong. It doesn't really line up with that, but whatever. Actually, let's use the Binance chart because this chart doesn't really do a good example of the volume. Yeah, definitely not. It's not the right volume profile, but whatever. Let's look at the daily time frame. We'll wrap this up. Okay, daily time frame, lower lows in the RSI, higher lows in the price. Lower lows in the RSI, higher lows in the price. Lower lows in the stochastics, higher lows in the price. The MACD is looking to have given us a false cross to the downside. It's a very bullish signal. We had that happen over here. We had that happen right here. And then we moved from 84K all the way up to 99K, almost 100K. It took time. It wasn't just like a quick move. This might take time too. But I'm not expecting from here that we're just going to move up to these levels higher. I do expect we'll move up, and I expect we'll move down. At least that's my call at the moment. I could be wrong. We could be moving up above this high. And if so, that's fine. But I am expecting the Clarity Act to get passed this week, if not early next week. And I do expect that to be a sell the news event. Just like last night was a buy the news event. 5,000 maritime Marines are being sent to Iran. That was at the lows. People were freaking out. At the high, Clarity Act passed. We're in a bull market. People are going to be freaking out. We're going to sell off. The daily MACD, if we can cross this back green, that's actually going to look really good. And I might have to take back what I'm saying here. We actually might move above this high. The RSI bouncing at these same levels, that's nice. But if we can't get into the overbought zone, that agrees with what I'm saying here, is that we're probably not going to move up too much higher. Stochastics are bouncing off the oversold zone. That looks positive. I definitely think we have more to go over the coming days, so long as today closes around here or higher. If we come back all the way down, we're going to be talking about, we're going to immediately shift gears to this level here and going just below this trend line. But again, even if we shift gears, even if we come back down, this is one giant bull trap psyop, we're not going to go too much lower than this low. And we likely will come back with a vengeance at some point. Every dump will get pumped into, every pump gets dumped into. We're moving sideways until May, if not June. Maybe even July. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Okay, take care of yourselves. Bye.